This conference will now be recorded.
I'm going to call the regular council meeting of Monday, March 17th to order. Anna, you take the roll.
Councilmember Courier.
Here.
Councilmember Hollinshead.
Here.
Mayor Johnson.
Here.
And Councilmember Mitchell.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Walczak is excused.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
A motion by Hollinshead, supported by Courier. Any discussion? All in favor? Anna, wrong meeting. I don't do that, you do that.
Councilmember Courier.
Aye.
Councilmember Hollinshead. Aye. Mayor Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Aye.
Any modifications to the agenda this evening? Approval of the minutes. I have a modification to the minutes, and it's on, I have to find it. Just a sec.
It's on page 3.
On page what?
3.
Okay, let me go back up. This has to do with, oh gosh, I'm getting there. Page 3. So this has to do with, where is it?
It's the second motion under ordinance 25-505.
Okay, so on the motion on ordinance number 25-505, it said to send it back to Planning Commission for consideration for R2. It should say for RT. That's duplex. So that's my motion, is to make that change. Is there support?
Support.
My motion, Danny supported. Any discussion? Anna?
So we don't normally do a motion to approve them. Do we need to do a motion to correct them?
We probably should since we're pregnant.
Okay. Councilmember Hollinshead. Aye. Mayor Johnson.
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Aye.
And Councilmember Courier. All right. Motion carried.
Okay, we're down to 5 public comments. Citizens appearing before council on agenda and non-agenda items shall be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes each to address their concerns. This is the only time during a council meeting that citizens are allowed to address the council. Please come to the podium, state your name and address. Online comments will be accepted after in-person comments are completed, and all comments should be directed to the council and not to the audience. Kevin?
Hello, Kevin Ginter, 114 East Wisner, Alpena, Michigan. Wanted to mention that my displeasure, disappointment, frustration when there's an expectation that if you meet all the conditions of this is in relationship to the triplex, that if you have a code of ordinances, if someone were to meet all those, then the vote is really nothing much more in this particular case, in my mind, is nothing more than a formality. It's nothing to approve because you've asked them by setting up code of ordinances, you need to meet this, you need to meet this. The only issue I remember hearing was something to do with the parking. Well, the parking issue is not eliminated by whether it's a single unit, a duplex, a triplex or more. The lady who lived across the street from the property for the triplex, sounds like she just doesn't want the triplex there. And that could be something that happened with previous landlords. So if she's got a bad taste in her mouth for a triplex, So, I mean, anybody would, right? But this particular petitioner for the change is a new landlord. Sounds like she wants to make this place something that people would take care of, enjoy living at. She wants to take care of the building. If she's got a history of something other than that, maybe that's a reason for maybe hedging against it being more than a duplex. But if the ordinance, code of ordinance is not taking care of your issue, then maybe we want to start there. Somebody asked me later on after the last city council meeting, like, who are you? I go, my name is Kevin. I'm from the committee for fairness in government. And, fairness and common sense in government. And I went, this is ridiculous. I'm very disappointed. And that happened to be men versus ladies in this case. Could be something else later on. But like the person's answering all the questions, talking to everybody at the city, like, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? If there's something else that you're focusing on, like you don't want RM2 in the city anymore, then maybe there should be something done so there's no more RM2 in the city. I mean, I think that's what's right. I was going to say fair, but somebody told me life's not fair. So let's use the word right. So, unfortunately, you just made a change to reiterate what the motion was from before. Hopefully it doesn't come to something more than that. I'm not really sure what her intentions are, but it's embarrassing when you give them the expectation that if you do what we say, it's not in this particular case. I mean, I know there's other ones that, okay, they're meeting the letter of the law, but we don't want that here, whatever that is. Something that's not socially acceptable or something, and you're going to draw a line. I think that's it.
Okay, and thank you for that, Karen. I appreciate that. But in the future, if you could just refrain from making a comment about women versus men when it comes to the vote, because if it was 3 men and 2 women, you wouldn't have had an issue with it. But that you,
Not true at all.
but that you
That's
pointed
not true at
out,
all.
it happened to be 3 women, you have an issue with that. I take offense to that. Thank
Well,
you.
the 3 of you were wrong.
That's your.
I mean, she could have got it approved had it been something for the animal control shelter or maybe part of the recycling center offices.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone online? We have no public hearing. We're down to consent agenda. Bills to be allowed in the amount of $485,844.22 and authorize Mayor Johnson and Clerk Soik to sign the warrant.
Move we approve the consent agenda in the amount of $485,844.22.
Motion second. Motion by Dan, support by Bridget. Any discussion? Anna?
Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Courier,
Aye.
and Councilmember Homestead. Aye. Motion carried.
Kevin. Our next is presentations, and we have a Marina update. Kevin Fisher, our Harbormaster.
First of all, thank you all for having me again. Moore's on
It's okay.
play. Yeah. So, spring of 2024 started off as any other. There's cool breezes, ice floes cracking, just like they are now. City was kind of shaking off the icy cold winter of last year, and we were getting everything ready to go. Last year, we had 2 full-time technicians from DPW at the Marina, and we had I think, city high of 9 seasonal employees. But that being said, staffing was still relatively difficult because you have family vacations and other plans and things with your friends and family throughout the summer. So balancing that was that was a good challenge, but I think I have a better grasp on it now. So this year, I'm hoping it'll be a lot better. Fingers crossed. We did. It bears mentioning. I think that we did have some employment hurdles to get over with our own DBW employees, but I'm hopeful that those are all sorted out, and we'll be able to keep these two guys for a number of years. Fingers crossed, big time. I really like them too. Dan and Trent do a fantastic job at the Marina. And so to get full swing into this, as many people I think don't actually know, the Alpena Marina has been since its inception a grant and aid harbor, which means it has been built and sustained with grant funding from the state of Michigan, the DNR, and the Waterways Commission. These grants typically help fund marina updates, infrastructure improvements, renovations, so on and so forth. The whole reason our marina exists is for transient traffic. To put it into simple terms, you can think of it as a campground for recreational boaters. You travel from, I don't know, we'll say Ohio, and you're coming up, you're doing the whole like part of the Great Loop, you coming through Lake Huron, Alpena. This marina was built so that you can stop somewhere overnight. We are one of the few on the east side of Michigan that have as many services as we do. Just think of it as a campground for boaters. That's the easiest way for people to kind of figure out what it is and why it's here. However, that being said, we are 9 land miles inside Thunder Bay. And so with the way transient boating and the fisheries in Lake Huron have been going, and the state of recreational boating and the great loopers has been going these past 8 or 9 years now, that kind of puts us at a geographical, what did I say? Let me see here. We are geographically challenged. In order to get to the Alpena Marina, you would have to take a 9 to 13 mile trip into Thunder Bay, and then you would have that same 9 to 13 mile trip back out into the main part of the lake. In the same time, and in some cases less time than what it takes to travel from the main body of the lake to the Alpena Marina, boaters can typically be at or beyond Presqu'île, getting close to Rogers City at that point. So we have been seeing a lot less transient traffic throughout these past few years, but I think working on a few things like with our marketing partners that we have, to include marinas.com and Garmin Active Captain, we are looking to advertise better and get the Alpena Marina out there. And once some of these updates and renovations that we've been making kind of spread word of mouth, with any luck, that should get a lot better. I think we actually started taking reservations for this upcoming summer, second week of January. So that's a good sign. That'll be nice. Hey. The problem is we can only take reservations as long as it's within a 6-month window. It's a weird state rule. I don't know. So we have, and I am actually, if I can get the funding for it, a company called Dockwood does have a paid version of a marketing platform that reaches an incredibly wide audience of recreational boaters. But I kind of wanted to start a little bit more grassroots and prove kind of sort of proof of concept that some of these marketing companies and things can attract boaters while we're still updating the marina, before I felt it necessary to spend that much money on marketing.
How much money are we talking about?
It's like $3,000 a year.
That's not terrible.
No, but if we're only making $16,000 a year on transients, I don't know. I find that to be a difficult line to balance, I guess.
Sorry, what was it called? You said
DOCWA. DOCKWA.
thank you.
DOCWA.com. Yes, sir. We are actually on marinas.com, and I found a Garmin Active Captain profile for us, but I don't think there was a whole lot of information about us in there. So I have to get into that and start advertising and changing and updating some of the information in that one too, to start introducing a lot of those people who wear the smartwatches that were a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
So the Alpena Marina has 135 slips total. 89 of those slips is for seasonal slip holders, and I would say 98% of those come back year after year. I'm thinking that this year, believe it or not, I want to say we're going to be a little bit over 100% capacity as far as seasonal slips are concerned. There are benefits to having as many broadside feet as this marina does. And so I can actually place people broadside, and I can place people on the head pier at the marina. And we may actually have 3 boats in the river this year. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But boats in the river all remains to be seen. I've actually got enough seasonal slip holders in the marina proper that I have had to place at least one person on the head pier. So we should be operating at about 101%, which is a good feeling. We do actually still also have a wait list. I think that bears mentioning as well. But the majority of the people on the wait list all have 38 to 48 foot boats, and we do not have enough slips that are long enough to fit them. So they'll be waiting for a really long time, unfortunately. So some of the big projects that we had at the marina this past year was, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but removing 3 dilapidated old boats that have been in the parking lot for, I don't even know how long, but it's been a long time. So those are all gone. It was, in my opinion, a complete wash as far as the cost to remove the boats and what we got in return for scrap sales and what we will be able to get returned to us in winter storage boat space. In the space that those three boats took up, we now have 6 sailboats and 4 boats on trailers in that space. So I think just based off of my guesstimation with my eyes, we are pulling in about $5,400 a year in that space alone. So I would say we made the right move in getting rid of them, and I think eventually everything will break even. And so we've also added fresh paint to the marina storefront and the fish cleaning station, as well as more of the railing on the break wall. And we were working with a local Girl Scout who was here a meeting or 2 ago. Ms. Colson, she and her grandfather built a brand new little free library that's down at the entrance to the break wall. And she did fantastic work. It was a very nice little free library. Also very popular. It's kind of cool. It's nice to be able to walk out, grab a book, and sit on your lunch break and read. And we also have Alpena's second farmers market in the Alpena storefront now. They've been in there since October, and I think the Sunrise Side Co-op Farmers, CSA Farmers Market, something. It's a mouthful. But them and I are working on a lot of little projects for around the marina. I think we are going to be jumping into improving a lot of the green space. We'll be redoing some of the landscaping. I think we're going to be putting in a couple of bigger planters to kind of act as a break wall for the wind and everything. And they will be having their weekly outdoor farmers markets down at the marina now. So that'll be really cool, a lot of fun. And they have since promised that they'll be open for all of the larger events like brown trout, the weekend concerts. I think they're going to be open for a few of those, and I think Art on the Bay and whatever else is going on down there. It's going to be a very busy summer. And we also worked with MacArthur Construction to lift the gangway from the courtesy docks up out of the water. That was also underwater for about, I think, 4 to 6 years, I was told. So that, after a very thorough cleaning and safety inspection, I am currently working on a work-in-kind agreement with the Alpena Youth Sailing Club, so that they will provide the city with essentially volunteer hours, and they will get to use the courtesy docks at that little section by the flagpole for all of their youth sailing classes and everything for the summer. And so hopefully, I think they actually agreed with the last agreement I sent them. So I should be getting that to you guys soon. And then I'm also working on a similar agreement with the Alpena chapter of the Sea Scouts. And so they will also be taking care of a portion of the marina, as well as starting to repaint the rest of the breakwall railing, which will be very nice. Well, it will be. Covered all that. Brown trout, last year was a really, really great success. I think talking to Phil, they had a little over 4,000 visitors throughout the week that they were open. Many different days of family fishing tournaments and events and concerts. And I think the festival board is looking towards making it more family friendly and offering more family focused festival type things. Like, we don't know yet. I think Phil and I are going to start getting into that soon, but so it'll be a lot more family focused than it has been, if that's even possible. And I think we had 2 other fishing tournaments, 1 national, and this year we have 3. I think we're going to have a spearfishing tournament as well in July, so that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be cool. Let's see here. Let's just skip right to the revenue and expenses. I think I've covered everything else.
Can you just, the flagpole is going to be repainted. Is
Yes,
there a group doing that?
Is it a group? Like, is it Rotary or is it just Steve?
Steve, I'm not sure if he's representing a group. That, to my knowledge, he's not representing a group at this point. I think it's
Yeah, I didn't think so.
members and things.
Yeah. So he is not only a member of the Harbor Advisory Committee, but he is also a Rotarian, and he is also, I believe he's on the board for the AYSC.
I think so.
Yeah. And so Steve Wilson is planning on matching funds with us with some of the money that we've got, and we're going to have it repainted and refinished and everything.
Just wanted them recognized.
My apologies.
No, because it was in there, but you skipped it, so. Go ahead.
All right, so revenue, our fiscal year is not over, so most of these numbers are subject to change. I do have updated numbers in front of me. So Well, I'll start with revenue. Winter boat storage, we are up to $41,440. Our seasonal slips is up to $125,069. Transient slips are the same, 16,976. Our diesel is the same, 59,000. Gas, same, 66,000. Ice is the same, 493. Launch permits have gone up to 746. And rental income from the two businesses operating out of the marina, I went ahead and did some math. And so by the end of the fiscal year, we will have had brought in $12,708. So and this is all going to change more because I think our system, I just got word we're turning on the fuel April 28th. And so I'm probably going to sell a gallon or two of fuel before June 30th, as well as everything else. But so far, our total right now is $329,000 and $332. And so expenses, we are looking at $9,400 in repairs, $110,536 in salaries and wages, $109,855 for contractual obligations, $50,121 in diesel, $59,533 in gas, and $316 in ice for a total of $339,761. And I've also been working with the state. It turns out that $4,000 is wrong. There is $5,068 in outstanding balances from Camas reservations. I think Anna and myself are going to go over this on Thursday, and I will be in contact with the state to try to get as much information as we can so we can do as best a possible job as possible in reclaiming some of that money. It is in transient fees though, so we will probably, if any of it is recoverable, we will have to share part of that with the state, I believe. I don't know. They may have paid their fees at the beginning.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Just to say.
And to do that, do you have to take them to small claims? Is this, how do
I
you?
don't know yet.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if we'd actually be able to because I think a few of them live on the other side of the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't show up, we just self-judgment.
Yeah. I'm not a lawyer. I do boats and parks.
We will do our best to try and collect these.
Oh, I know we will. Well, we'll get it. And the $15,000 isn't right either. That's closer to about 30. But I'm also working with Hannah on rectifying those as well. I think if worse comes to worse, I will most likely be seizing one or more boats this summer. And then if that doesn't work, then it will be small claims court for some of these outstanding balances.
These outstanding balances are more than just the previous years.
Yeah, some of them go back to 2022. So, yeah.
And I'm just curious, so there are boats that are put in every year here, correct?
Some of them.
Some of them, or boats,
And some of them are boats that don't necessarily get docked here, but they are here for winter storage throughout the year.
Okay.
Or at least they return for winter storage every year. We've actually got quite a few of those.
we don't make people pay beforehand? I mean, like, You
At 30.
check and then you can drop your boat. You don't do that?
Put a boot on it.
A boot on the boat.
It just sees them. There's nowhere to put a boot on it.
It's-
We just can't get lifted into the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll stick with that. Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have questions for?
The only question I had was removing the 3 dilapidated boats. How long they been sitting out there? Who do they belong to?
Me. So I actually spent, goodness, the first 8 months I was working here, from December of 23 to late that summer, I was going back and forth with the Secretary of State's office, our local police office, the DNR, the Waterways Commission, and I got to work with the lien system for the state a little bit. But I essentially seized those 3 boats through legal processes, as I'm allowed to, and we put all 3 of them up for bid. And somebody was the lucky winner of 2 of them. Her bid of getting them out of the parking lot was accepted, and she spent, I believe, right around $6,500 to have them professionally moved from our parking lot to her backyard. And the other one was removed by DPW.
Did they?
Yes. Many pieces.
Were these items that were placed in storage to start with and people
believe so.
lost?
Yes. And through multiple attempts at contacting the supposed owners, I did not hear anything. So
Well, it's nice to have them gone. It's nice not to.
none of them were ever going to float ever again.
Didn't think so.
If you leave wooden boats out of the water for 8 years, it's just no amount of soaking is going to let them be seen.
Having the space to put other storage, that's a good thing.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Right.
Any other questions? Comments, concerns?
I think you did a wonderful job, Kevin, and it's nice to hear about what's going on at the Marina since we've taken it over. I think this may be the first kind of full report we've had in a while.
Oh,
So it's nice.
sorry.
It's nice. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's nice to see that we're making headway down there.
You're all welcome down anytime.
I know.
I usually have coffee in the morning.
You had me a coffee.
My office is on the 2nd story of the shop building. So, yeah, anytime.
Thank you.
Not until after the 1st.
Look forward to a busy summer down there. Thank you.
Me too. It should be a lot of fun. It'll be a good year.
Should we file and receive Kevin's report?
Up to, we normally do.
I thought.
So,
It's in your report.
I move we receipt and file the Marina Port report from Kevin Fisher.
Second.
Motion by Danny, second by Kevin to receive and file Kevin Fisher's Harbormaster Parks Coordinator report on the Marina. Any discussion? No?
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Courier,
Aye.
Councilmember Hollinshead. Aye. And Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Down to 9 announcements. The city is seeking an individual to fill a vacancy on the local officers compensation committee for a 6-year term. So if you know anyone out there who wants to serve on that, send them our way. We have no proclamations. We're down to report of officers, council committee reports. No?
Nothing this week.
Any, do you have
Not
anything?
No.
And I'm going to say no this evening, so we can make it a shorter meeting. We have nothing else on our agenda. So we're down to adjournment, a motion to adjourn.
I, oh my gosh, I moved to adjourn. Is that,
That's
that's it. Okay, sorry.
Our support, whichever one it is.
motion by Kevin to adjourn, second by Danny.